Ukrainian diaspora is asking, which is supplying military arms to the country?
The latter is not something that the Australian government has been requested, working with our military partners in the region, and we work closely with NATO and their members states. What we are doing is working with them in other ways, which I cannot go into a lot of detail about. Sanctions of the order that I have outlined matter. They do have an impact on those individuals, particularly when they're done in concert with other countries like those I have mentioned. And that's why I think it's important that all countries engage in these sanctions against these individuals. It sends a very clear message. You sanction, support, benefit from this type of violence, then you will be isolated, you will be targeted, your assets will be frozen, you will not be able to go about your life freely, you will be tracked down, and you will have your livelihoods completely disrupted in the same way that they are seeking to disrupt the lives of others. So I have a very strong view that the sanctions do matter, should be undertaken, and we will continue to press forward with them under the laws that our government put in place to enable us to do just this very thing.
You mentioned military technical assistance previously. Now that we've seen the invasion, what will that look like, and do we have a possibility of, while not sending troops, engaging in some sort of military support to Ukraine?
We are involved with our partners in these types of activities, but it wouldn't be appropriate for me to go into detail.
To Australia. Have you spoken with him since these developments, and do you plan to speak?
There are no plans on the latter. Even in moments of terrible conflicts such as this, it is important to maintain channels of communication. That has been the conventional way these things have been dealt with in the past. And it's appropriate for him to have been brought in to speak to the Secretary of DFAT, and that has taken place, and that dialogue will continue there. But you can be in no doubt about the very stern messages that have been sent to the Ambassador on behalf of the Australian government.
Will you seek to speak to...
I just had one. Are you worried that China is going to use this massive instability to launch any action in the Indo-Pacific?
No, I think it's important to separate these issues, and I want to make that point in particular to Australians. What I would be asking, as I have consistently, and I would welcome this being supported, both here in this country and elsewhere, it's important that all countries denounce what is occurring in Russia and Ukraine. It is important that all countries do that. This is an unprovoked, unwarranted, illegal invasion of Ukraine. And the best way to ensure that these acts are condemned is to enjoin the actions of countries like Australia, the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada, Japan, and impose these sanctions to ensure that there is a penalty and there is a cost. And you have to wonder where countries aren't prepared to do that, what they're prepared to tolerate. We're not prepared to tolerate it. And I think it's very important that the world acts together to denounce these terrible and violent acts on the people of Ukraine.